Hey everyone, it's Ace coming at you live with another fantastic episode from the Ray Z Show. How's everybody doing in the Philippines on this fine Friday? I hope you have a great Friday. I hope your family's safe and happy and you have a blessed day. Let's start with world news. How to untangle Trump and Zelensky's claims about U.S. aid to Ukraine. In competing claims about the extent of U.S. aid sent to Ukraine amid Russia's invasion, President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky offered divergent accounts amid an exchange of barbed remarks. Trump said Wednesday in a post to Truth Social punctuated with false claims that the United States has spent $350 billion on Ukraine, and that Zelensky said that half of it was missing. That's not what the United States spent, or exactly what Zelensky said. Zelensky told Associated Press earlier this month that Ukraine had received $75 billion directly, a low figure by the U.S. understanding, and that another $100 billion was never received. The two leaders appeared to talk past each other, with Trump and members of its administration skipping over the well-documented understanding of how U.S. aid is counted and where it is spent. The United States has appropriated just over $174 billion in U.S. funds in response to Russia's war against Ukraine, the Congressional Research Service said in a report issued last month. The Federal Ukraine Oversight Interagency Working Group keeps detailed track of the funds, more than $100 billion, some of it humanitarian rather than military support, has directly aided the Ukrainian government, according to an analyst of Congressional Budget Office figures published last year by the Council of Foreign Relations, a Washington think tank. In his remarks, Zelensky went on to say that he knew a large part of the U.S. aid came not in direct funds, but in the forms of weapons, training, humanitarian programs, and in other areas. He said, "I don't know where all the money is." Three buses explode in suspected terror attack near Tel Aviv, Israel police. Three buses exploded near Tel Aviv on Thursday in what Israeli police are called a suspected coordinated terror attack, according to the country's police spokesperson's unit. The buses where the bombs exploded were empty and in separate parking lots about 500 meters apart from each other. The mayor of Bat Yam, where the incident occurred, said, "But Bat Yam is on Israel's southern coast and it's just south of Tel Aviv." There were no injuries from the explosions, police said. Well, thank God for that. Wow. Another bomb was also found undetonated on a separate bus, according to an update from the police spokesman Thursday. Officials had previously said there were two undetonated bombs discovered. The explosive devices resembled bombs that Israeli police have seen in the West Bank, the spokesman said. Police said they found a written note with one of the bombs that read, "Revenge against the Tulkarm camp," referring to the Israeli operation in the West Bank last week, ABC News confirmed. Sources briefed on the preliminary investigation told ABC News officials believe a coordinated terror attack was planned for Friday morning to coincide with the pre-Sabbath rush, when buses in Israel are typically crowded. For some reason, at least one device went off too early, sources said. Multiple reports have been received of explosions involving several buses at different locations in Bat Yam. Large police forces are at the scenes. Searching for suspects. Police bomb disposal units are scanning for additional suspicious objects. The Israeli police spokesperson's unit said in an initial response to the incident. The Israel security agency known as the Shin Bet is now involved in the investigation, police confirmed to ABC News. Police were searching the immediate area for additional planted bombs on buses and urged the public to avoid the areas and remain alert for any suspicious items. Big shout out to Rose Kazangwan. How are you today? Thanks for watching. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is receiving regular updates from his military secretary, the Israeli Prime Minister's office said in a statement Thursday. The Trump administration has cleared migrants out of Guantanamo Bay. The Trump administration has flown all of the migrants it held in Guantanamo Bay out of the facility there, NBC News has learned from 3 sources familiar with the operation and flight data. In response to a lawsuit, the Trump administration said that there were 178 immigrants, all from Venezuela, housed at Guantanamo Bay as of early Thursday. A senior Department of Homeland Security official told NBC News that 177 of the 178 migrants at Guantanamo Bay were deported on Thursday. The one other person was sent to a detention facility in the U.S., the official said. Also Thursday, Honduras Foreign Ministry announced that the country had accepted a flight with what it said were 174 Venezuelan immigrants from the U.S. on board who would immediately be removed from Honduras to Venezuela. The official also said that the varying numbers between the administration and Honduras could just be a discrepancy. A picture of the plane on which the immigrants were flown to Honduras was tweeted out by Honduras Foreign Minister. The tail number of the plane in the picture corresponds to a flight that went from Guantanamo to Tegucigalpa, Honduras on Thursday, according to the FlightRadar24.com. The Trump administration had made a show of moving migrants to Guantanamo, saying it would be sending the worst of the worst. The senior DHS official told NBC News that it plans to send more immigrants to Guantanamo and that the base is being seen as a staging area to get migrants to other countries. But 2 sources familiar with the matter said that DHS has asked the Department of Defense to look for alternative locations and that DOD is considering other places like Fort Bliss in Texas. The removal raises new questions about what rights immigrants have once in custody in Guantanamo Bay. Lawyers from immigrants' rights groups sued the Trump administration to have in-person access detainees and 72 hours notice before planes carrying migrants to or away from Guantanamo took off. In response, Justice Department lawyers representing the Trump administration argued on Thursday that the migrants could request to speak to lawyers by phone, that it violated the operational authority of the DHS Secretary, Kristi Noem, to be required to give notice, and that the administration could hold immigrants in Guantanamo Bay longer than 6 months. Previous court orders have stated that the migrants cannot be held in ICE detention longer than 6 months, and that detention standards should not be punitive. Lee Gallant, the lead lawyer for the ACLU, challenged the Trump administration in the lawsuit, told ABC News. We will have to verify what types of access is going to be able to be given by phone and make sure it is meaningful. We will also seek in-person access when necessary. It's ironic to say the least that they are now telling us they have phone access, but it appears that our clients have been removed, Gallant said. In its response to the lawsuit, in which it said it had 178 immigrants Guantanamo, The Trump administration also detailed where in the base they were being held. 127 were housed in Camp 6, the high-security detention facility typically used to detain people accused of terrorism by the United States. According to the administration, another 51 were housed at the Migrant Operations Center, an existing structure previously reserved for migrants, interdicted at sea. That's it on that news story. You know what? Guantanamo Bay, I don't know much about it. Maybe you people do. Leave your comments below. Please like, share, and comment on each news story that you hear, please. Next story. Hamas stages macabre ceremony to release bodies of 4 Israeli hostages, said to include Bibas, children, and their mother. How sick. Hamas on Thursday put on a macabre handover ceremony in central Gaza to return the bodies of 4 Israeli hostages taken on October 7th, 2023. It was the first time the militant group has released the remains of dead hostages since its attack on Israel, and marked a somber turn for a country more used to elation when former captives returned home alive. Among those released were said to be the bodies of Cherie Bibas, who was aged 32 years old when she and her son Ariel, 4, and Kiefer, 9 months, were abducted from their home in Kibbutz, near Oz, southern Israel, by Hamas-led militants more than 16 months ago. The 2 boys have become the most recognizable victims of the October 7th terror attacks. That's exactly what it is, terror attacks. It's sick. The 4th body was that of Oded Lifshitz, who was 83 years old when he and his wife, Yocheved Lifshitz, were kidnapped from the kibbutz near Oz. Yocheved was released by Hamas on October 24th, 2023. At a press conference Thursday, the head of Israel's National Center of Forensic Medicine, Dr. Chen Kugel, said experts have confirmed that one of the bodies was Lifshitz, but did not comment on the other 3 bodies. We share in the deep sorrow of the Lifshitz family. Today, 503 days after the October 7th massacre, we have determined that Oded Lifshitz was murdered in captivity over a year ago, Kugel said. Earlier Thursday, the Prime Minister's office said that Lifshitz had been murdered in captivity by the Islamic Jihad terrorist organization. Israeli officials did not provide details on how they knew Lifshitz was murdered in captivity. The Palestinian Islamic Jihad movement denied the Israeli claims, saying Lifshitz was killed in an Israel strike along with the security team assigned to protect and serve him. It provided no details on evidence to support its claim. The Palestinian Islamic Jihad movement denied the Israeli claims, saying Lifshitz was killed in an Israeli strike along the security team assigned to protect and serve him. It provided no details or evidence to support its claim. It's lying. They're terrorists. They're lying. Clearly lying. Terrorists suck. Go bite the big one. As in past weeks, Hamas used the handover ceremony as an opportunity for anti-Israel propaganda. Wow, how convenient. So they kill people, kidnap and kill, then they have a ceremony to release the dead bodies. Okay, you know what? These people should be the Trump administration should just go in and bomb them and annihilate these sick-minded terrorist organizations. Wow, but the juxtaposition of 4 black coffins borne by mass militants rather than living hostages led to widespread condemnation in Israel, whose television networks, unlike in past weeks, did not carry the ceremony live. Loud music blared as Red Cross workers loaded coffins into armored SUVs. How sad is that? Hamas claimed in November 2023 that Cherie Ariel and Kiefer Bibas were killed in an Israeli airstrike. though never presented any evidence, and Israeli never confirmed their deaths. Among the propaganda posters strung up by Hamas on Thursday was an image of a vampiric Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Benjamin Netanyahu looming over an image of the hostages. How sick. I'll read that one again, sorry. Hamas claimed in November 2023 that Shiri Ariel and Kafir Bibas were killed in an Israeli airstrike, though never presented any evidence, and Israel never confirmed their deaths. Among the propaganda posters strung up by Hamas on Thursday was an image of a vampiric Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu looming over an image of the hostages. 503 agonizing days of uncertainty have come to an end, the Lifshitz family said in a statement after receiving confirmation that Oded's body had been returned. Now we can mourn the husband, father, grandfather, and great-grandfather who has been missing from us since October 7th. Our family's healing process will begin now and will not end until the last hostage is returned. The caskets were first handed to the Red Cross, then transferred to the Israeli military, whose soldiers draped the coffins in Israeli flags and brought them into Israel. Scores of people, many waving flags, lined the roads as a convoy carrying the 4 coffins traveled to Tel Aviv. Israeli President Isaac Herzog said hearts across the country lie in tatters and asked for forgiveness on behalf of the government for failing to protect those captured on October 7th. Agony, pain, there are no words to describe this, he wrote in a post on X. Hamas claimed in November 2023 that the Bibas children and their mother were killed in an Israeli airstrike, but did not produce any evidence. Israel has never confirmed their deaths. The children's father, Yarden Bibas, was released by Hamas earlier this month after 484 days of captivity. He was one of the 19 Israeli hostages freed alive under the January 2025 ceasefire deal. The Israeli military had previously retrieved the bodies of multiple hostages in Gaza. Wow, I'm going to stop reading there. This is so sad. Why do people have to die? I never understood it. Why does there have to be war? Never understood it. So, you know what? Please leave your comments on any story that you listened to today in the comment section. And please like, share, and follow. And thank you so much for listening. And peace out. And peace to the families who have lost loved ones in this sick, terroristic scene of undeniably these people have no hearts. No hearts at all. Peace out.